In today's How to Crochet video, we'll learn how to change color in crochet today on GoodKnit Kisses. Let's jump right in. You need to just get down to the part where you want to change color. In this case, I'm going down to the very last stitch because I want it to change on the next row up. So when we get to the very last stitch, we're going to go in there and yarn over and pull through and get all the stitches on our hook before we are ready to pull through the very last yarn over and complete that stitch. Now I'm doing a half double crochet. It doesn't matter which one you're doing. I would yarn over and then I would pull through all three of these before I start working my chain and moving on to the next row. But in order to get our chain to make the new color, just as I've done down here, in order to do that, I need to pull through my very last yarn over with the new color. So I'm just going to simply come over here, drop this color here, and you can hold it between your fingers if you want to keep it nice and taut or tight. Grab my new yarn or my main color yarn, hold it like I normally would, get it ready, just like you would hold your working yarn back here. And then let the tail hang, this new tail hang, or you can put it back here and pinch it with the one you're holding back here. So just hold it back here and then yarn over and pull through. Now, if you don't want to hold it like you normally do, that's fine. Just for this very first one, you can just simply grab that yarn and pull it all the way through, just like that. And then you can just tighten up the stitches in the back here. Now, you're going to end up having two tails this way, and you'll weave those in with a tapestry needle, and that's okay. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But we're going to go ahead and yarn over and chain up our stitches, 1, 2 for this one, which is a half double crochet. And then we're just going to turn our work and start working into that first stitch. And you can see how when I do this first stitch here and pull all the way through, that it has indeed changed colors very nicely, and there is no overlap of another color coming up into the next row. So when it comes time to weave in our tails, this little tail here, of course, you're going to go ahead and cut, and then it will just come right back up here and get woven in. We'll do that in just a moment. Now I want to talk about carrying your tails. So if I wanted to, say, carry this other color, and I maybe wanted to switch every other row with this one, then I can carry this yarn up above here and start working my next stitch where it traps it in above. And you absolutely can do that. And you can do that for a few stitches at a time. But for this one, if I was to carry this big long strand all the way down to the other end, my stitches flex like this, it would then pucker out and move around, and it would not be a very pretty look. It wouldn't have that nice springy look like when it's made with a stitch here. So only carry it for a few stitches at a time. If you're working with a pattern that goes back and forth between those colors, then that's fine. But otherwise, I wouldn't carry it for a whole row. You can also carry the yarn up the side and twist your yarn up the side like this, but that works well when you're going to come back and put a border on here. For this particular one, we're not going to do that. So you'll end up having these long strands here, and then you're just going to weave them in. So I'm just going to get a few more strands in, or a few more stitches in here, and show you what this looks like, and then I'll show you weaving in the tail. Okay, but I want to show you what this would look like if I say I wanted to do a new color right in the middle of the row. So let me go ahead and cut this, because I don't need this tail anymore. Okay, so let's change the yarn mid-row. I'm going to grab my tail here and have it ready, and let's back this stitch out so we can just put our hook in this first stitch here, undo it, and start working it like we're going to do the whole stitch. Okay, now I'm ready to pull through my last stitch, so you can do that here. You can pull through all the way through like that, and then start working your next stitch. You see that? And we get a whole stitch with a color change. Okay, so if we wanted a color change every other one, then this would look like this. So we pulled through that one on that last one, and go ahead and yarn over, insert in, yarn over again, and then at the end we'll just take our yarn that's hanging in the back here and pull through, and then we're ready to set up for the next one, just like this. So that was a bit of a bonus. And then pull through to complete that if I'm going to continue on with white, or you would pull through the other color, just like that. See? And that's how you change colors. All right, weaving in the tails. I'm going to take this teal color here, and I'm going to bring it up and follow the line of this stitch here. Now if you look over, these stitches all have 2 of them going around this white here. See, there's 2 here, 2 here, and there's only 1 here, so we can just go ahead and match that and go up. We're going to just pick a spot in here that's pretty close and weave it right in, and we'll match that stitch. So now it's identical. And then we can come up to the spot up here, okay, to get it to this spot, and then we can jump through these 2 of the white color, go right through there, and pull on through. And so you're just going to follow the stitch pattern with your tail and your tapestry needle until you get a few inches of this extra strand woven in. And I suggest going in a few different directions here. So I'm going to go down a few times, kind of serpentine this way, and then I can come back on itself. So let me weave this in here. Okay, and you can go up and around here and come back down like that, and then come back on itself, and then go back in the other direction following that same spot that we just went, and it still matches that stitch work. And then when we come through here again, pick a spot kind of hidden in the back, but you can split. I'm going to show it in the front here. You can split this yarn here and take your tail through that, and it'll lock it in. I'll go into a few of them. Oops. Let's do that one more time. My tail's a little bit short. Okay, so let's go through one here. Find a spot where we can split the yarn. I split it behind there. You can't really see that part, but I did. And we're just going to pull it right on through. Okay, and so now it's locked in, and we can go ahead and clip that safely. And that tail is woven on through. And now I'm going to take my other tail and do the same thing. Come from the back if you need to, and just come up, following those stitches. I'm going to come back down here, and then just following this stitch work. And this one's going to be a little bit easier because there are a lot more spaces here with this white to blend in, and you can kind of zigzag along this spot here and then clip your yarn, and you are ready to go and finish weaving in all these other tails. I hope that tutorial has helped you today. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.